Ladies and gentlemen, we have a case of business fraud going around right now, at least on eBay. Just about a week ago, I bought what I thought was a Cold Steel Voyager in medium size, and it did say it was an AUS 8A blade steel. For your reference, the newer models have been using CTS BD1, and as far as my knowledge goes, Cold Steel has discontinued the medium-size Voyagers. But I thought somebody had a bunch of factory seconds or something, or they had a whole box of them. I don't know what the story was, but it was $25, looked like too good of a deal to pass up, so I bought one out of curiosity. I thought something kind of fishy was going on, but the listing did not say these were copies or counterfeits, so I assumed it was a sale for an authentic Voyager in medium size, and I knew something was wrong as soon as I got it today. This is the packaging. The regular Cold Steel boxes do not open that way. Look at this, put some cheap glue on it. This kind of looks like the Voyager medium original box. I don't have the original to show you by comparison, but I knew right away this was fake pretty much when I got it, played around with it for like 20 seconds. So this is the first weird thing. And here it is. It looks very convincing. It looks almost exactly like a medium-sized Voyager. And I wanted one, and Cold Steel doesn't make these anymore. I just wanted to complete my Voyager collection. And one thing you can tell is that these screws are blackened right here. They should all be chrome. Okay, regular silver color. You can even see from the box they're supposed to be that color. They didn't even match that right. Wah, wah. They got that wrong. In the open position, it looks like a real Voyager. It looks pretty good. The shape's good. It's actually really comfortable because they pretty much just copied the design. The iron cross pattern looks just about the same. Again, I don't have another one to show you as a reference. There's no logo on the pocket clip right here. There should be the Cold Steel logo as far as I remember. Again, these should be silver hardware, not black. But the big thing that gave it away was the horrid lockup. You can hear it rattling. That is horrendous. That is a very bad lockup. I knew something was wrong. And if you look close, the thumb stud right there is slanted. These look like these were crudely screwed on, or I don't understand what their manufacturing process was. But you can even see the steel, if you can even call that steel. I don't know what kind of metal that is they use for these thumb studs. The thread's actually peeling off right there. And the shape is not the same either. They should be cylinder. They're almost the same, but again, if I had a real Voyager, I can show you a picture of a real one. You can see they're not quite the same. I'll roll in as many pictures as I can. Everything else looks pretty close and feels pretty close to a real Voyager, actually. I'm surprised. But it also did not come with a lefty pocket clip like a real one would. They stonewash the blade. That's nice. It's a nice touch right there. But it's just, everything's just, it's just something slightly off about it. There's slight little missteps. But the big one is the horrid lockup. And the lock bar here, I think, is a lot thinner than what the regular medium Voyager had. I could be wrong on that, but it's difficult to depress it. The regular Voyager did not have that problem. And you barely needed to press it at all in order for it to disengage. Look at that. That's like nothing. Oh, that is not safe. This is a dangerous knife to use. You can see it moving there. Barely to press that thing, boom. Poor cutter, and then it's gritty too. I didn't oil it, but I think it's kind of redundant. It's rubbing against. There's just something slightly off about it. Most people would probably not think this was fake if they were not very familiar with most knives. They never had a real Voyager before. They never had a higher quality knife before. They've only had like sub $5 knives. They'd probably be fooled. They would probably think this was the real deal, except for the lockup. That's just common sense. Even $5 knives typically don't have a lockup this bad. But again, there's just slightly crude designs here and there, things that are wrong with it. I shouldn't say crude designs, crude execution of what was a good design. And you can even see the construction pins right here, the stop pin as well as the pivot pin for the lock bar are off. They look like they were hammered in there or something. You can see they're melded on the side right there. Deformed, I should say. At least they got a torque screw. They got that right. Pivot screw looks okay, but then see more deformation right there. What's probably plastic. I don't even know if it's real FRN. It's deformed right there, and that looks like it was hammered in. Fit and finish, right? You can see the back spacer's off. Yeah, the closer I look at it, now I'm using my actual camera, I can see way more problems. Everything was kind of crudely stamped in. I think these are metal liners in there, but they're black colored. They're not, regular silver metal colored like the aluminum liners on the authentic Voyagers have. Now I notice right here the plastic's off on the handle. It's not fully pinched. It's bent outwards, as you can see right there. Just very crude construction. This is definitely not a real Voyager. Let's cut with it at least. Let's see if it at least has out of the box cutting capability. Here's that Bud K magazine. Let's see. It might just be user error. Hang on. It's not easy to cut magazine paper with semi-sharpness. Oh, okay. Okay, the edge definitely has some wee-waws in it, but it does have some cutting capability for sure. If I touched it up, it would probably be good, but there we go. That's pretty sharp, actually, out of box. You can even see the edges. Looks like it's already been used. I did not cut with anything with this knife yet, except for what you just saw right there. Again, I wish I had a real medium Voyager. I'm on the hunt for one right now. They're hard to find, because they're not exactly collectible, but they're not being made anymore either. So nobody's really looking for them, and nobody's really selling them, because they're not very expensive yet anyway. Maybe eventually they'll go up in price, just like the old model Voyagers did. But what a shame. Now I contacted the seller and said, hey, you sold me a fake, so can I please get my money back? It was just 25 bucks. Not terrible. Honestly, I would say this was an okay knife, despite being fake, but because of that lockup right there, I can't even recommend it for that. It's not a good knife. That's very dangerous. There's been fake Rajas, there's fake Spartans out there. I don't know if people have found out about them yet, but people have tried to cut big things with those things thinking those were authentics, and they seriously injured their hands because the locking mechanisms disengaged on them. So total douches for selling fakes, not just because they're being fraudulent and making money off of something that is not authentic and they're lying, but because people are getting injured because of these too. Imagine someone who was told, oh wow, those Cold Steel triad locks are great. They got something like this and they injured their hand or had to get stitches or go to the hospital, whatever happened, because they did not know it was not the authentic thing. And then forever they think they must have just got a bad knife from the company, or they no longer have faith in that locking mechanism. But it's not the real deal. It's a real shame. So yeah, I just thought I'd give a little warning. It's just kind of an interesting video. I didn't know these fake Voyagers were around, but this is definitely not the real deal, even without having a real one to compare it to in real life. You can tell this is not real. So anyway, just be on the lookout for fake Voyagers. I'm going to get revenge on the guy who sold this. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get my money back, hopefully.